And we're live. Welcome back for the very first stream of the 21-22 season. It's been a long time coming. We've had the Euros, which are a distant memory now. We've had the entire pre-season. 108 pre-season games later, we are 1 hour away from the FPL season kicking off. I've got loads prepared for this one. We've got a news roundup, the goal scorer and clean sheet odds, a mini game for everyone in chat to get involved, predicted points, and loads more. So, how is everyone? Are we excited for the season? Who wins the Premier League this season? I think it's going to be difficult to predict this season. City obviously won it comfortably last season. Man United look way better. Made some great signings. Might even make more. Chelsea have made some outstanding signings as well. Liverpool obviously got Van Dijk, Gomez, other players back from injury, so they could be back to their best. It's really, really a tough one this season. So welcome everyone to the stream. Good turnout already. We've got Adam, Andrea, Bob, Dylan, EJT, Finn, Gareth, Jack Elderton, aka Gelders, Jake, James Glaister, James Park, James Yap. We've got a few Jameses in here. We've got Jano, Joey, Kieran, Nevis, Rittik, Sponchi. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Good to have you all here. Has everyone got their team sorted? Are we locked in for Gameweek 1? So this is how my team's shaping up. If anyone didn't see, I posted a team reveal video earlier this week. That's something I'm going to try to do every game week this season. It's basically post my team heading into each game week. You know, my thoughts, why I've picked the players I've picked, the transfers I've made. So yeah, definitely going to make a conscious effort to make more videos on top of the streams this season. And yeah, the pre-season's been amazing because it's given me the opportunity to make a lot of original content for those that follow the channel. You know, I've made videos like the one on Yavis Kabuk. He was the guy who's had top 10k in his last 7 seasons in a row. And you know, no one had ever talked about him. So I thought it'd be great to cover him because he's in a league of his own in terms of FPL. I did a video on the all-time FPL Dream Team. So, you know, players like Lampard, Ronaldo. I did a video on Jose Mourinho and how he kind of broke Fantasy Premier League when he first came here in 2004. Before then, it was just like 4-4-2, like my lineup here. But obviously, it was very rigid formations back then, so there was no wingers as such. So he came with a 4-3-3 to the Premier League, and yeah, he kind of broke the rules of fantasy football because yeah, wingers are kind of somewhere in between midfielder and forward. I'm well behind on messages already. Really apologise for that, everyone, if I do miss anyone. Got loads to prepare for this one, so I think before we start, we are right at the end of the song. We've got a quick word from Salah, which I think we should get to first. Salah, take it away.
It's a long summer to me. Yeah, well, I had 5 weeks or 6 weeks.
I'll put you in my fantasy team.
You have to. I give you most points every year, so.
There you go, you heard it here first.
It's a long summer.
Salah's had 5 or 6 weeks off, he says, so, and he gets you the most points every season, so absolute no-brainer. Got to have Salah in your team. Anyone in chat not got Salah? I've seen a few drafts on the Discord, people without Salah. I just don't know if Mane's enough to make up for no Salah. And his ownership is ridiculous. What's he about? 53.8%. And for those that haven't, make sure you vote on our... Oops, have I not done the transition? I knew I'd run into some kind of technical issue. Sorry about that. There we go. I'm a bit rusty. I barely clicked the right buttons when I went live. I made it all of, 7 minutes before the first technical issue, but there we go. Anyway, let's crack on with the news roundup and everything else that's going on. So the first one, just briefly, is a new record, obviously. For the first time ever, the number of FPL managers at Gameweek 1 exceeds 6 million. So that's absolutely ridiculous, really. We've never had anything close to that. And I think it's actually even higher than that now. I took a quick screenshot to update the sidebars just before I went live. I think it's about 6.4 million players already. So yeah, I mean, it grows season on season. It's harder than ever to finish high. And yeah, incredible how much FPL's growing. That was another thing I actually touched on in one of those pre-season videos, is you know, how FPL's growing and celebrities and the like are getting involved. Anyway, onto the news roundup. So this is kind of breaking news. This is only from a few hours ago. I just stumbled on this right before going live. 5 Everton players forced into isolation ahead of the opening Premier League game, which is massive news. We don't even know who all of these 5 are. I think the names that are confirmed is James Rodriguez, Moise Keane, Gomez and Kbamin. Hopefully said his name right. So they've lost 2 important centre mids there. So it could be a very difficult opening game for Everton, who play Southampton. Hopefully the 5th's not Digne. I know Digne is quite a popular pick. So a bit of a nervy headline for those of you who do have Digne. Some nervy news for Arsenal fans as well. Arsenal captain Aubameyang and fellow striker Lacazette are both unwell and therefore not available for tonight's opening game of the Premier League against Brentford. So Nketiah is also out injured. So I honestly don't know how Arsenal are even going to line up. It could be Martinelli up top, maybe Balogun. Not sure on his name pronunciation either, but he's a youngster, decent striker. He made a few appearances in the Europa League last season, but not a great start for Arsenal, in honesty. James says he might do a risky Bruno captain over Salah. Is it worth it? It's a gamble, but just because of you know, Salah's likely effective ownership. If anyone's not voted on our captain poll, make sure you've done that. That captain poll is generally a good indication of where the hive mind is, the group think, and it does look like Salah's going to be quite high with his effective ownership. Could be touching on 200%, which is mental for the very first game week. So yeah, Vestergaard, he signed for Leicester, the centre-back. Obviously Leicester in a difficult spot with injuries to their centre-backs. Johnny Evans is still out. Fofana obviously picked up that horrible injury in pre-season. Disgraceful challenge, that one. So Fofana's out for 6 to 8 months. So they've signed Vestergaard from Southampton. He's training with them already and probably will start game week 1. Maybe a Marty. He's quite a popular 4.0 pick. Adam reckons Martinelli should start. Yeah, I think if Martinelli's fit, he must start. I heard some talk that he's injured, but I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a difficult first game for Arsenal. Hakim Ziyech picked up an injury, playing in the Super Cup earlier this week. So I think it was a dislocated shoulder or something to that effect. So he's going to be out for a while. Hard to predict exactly how Chelsea are going to line up this season. Obviously with the signing of Lukaku. In fact, let's get to Lukaku now. He came in at 11.5 mil. What do you guys think of Lukaku as an FPL option? Do you think he's going to be worth it at 11.5 mil? 1 mil cheaper than Kane. Does he take penalties? He's definitely on the wait and see list. I don't think he's going to be playing in game week 1, but he could emerge as a good option. He certainly was back in the day. I've got some great memories of Lukaku when he was at Everton. I remember having the armband on Lukaku and he got a hat-trick back in his Everton days. Aaron, how you doing? He says, Ings or Wilson? I would go Ings, but I do think Wilson's a good pick as well. Sammy and Gareth reckon not now. But Sponshy reckons he'll be worth it. Reynard says he's a bargain for 11.5. Interesting. If he's on penalties, then I would say so as well. But is that going to be the case? Not sure. We'll have to see. Definitely on the wait and see list. Ollie Watkins has got some bone bruise enough to pick up an injury during pre-season. It was a game against the Italian side. I won't try and pronounce that. But the club is hopeful he'll be fine for the season opener. I think Watkins is flying under the radar somewhat. You know, everyone's got Danny Ings. Obviously, it's a great move for him, and he could be a great asset. And I think he's almost 40% owned, Danny Ings. But I do think Watkins could have a good season again. He was not a bad pick last season. Kevin De Bruyne is not quite back. Every day he's getting better, Pep says, but we're still waiting. He can't do a full training session. So no KDB by the looks of it for the Spurs game in Game Week 1. That's going to be a big miss. Could be a tough game. Heung-min Son's been in great form. Not sure if Kane will play that one or not. Speaking of, we were talking about Amati earlier. Speaking of the 4.0 defenders, I'm terrible with the names. Amabamidele from Norwich is a doubt for the opening Premier League clash. He's got tonsillitis, so he may not play the opening fixture against Liverpool. I know he's in a few teams. He's only really getting minutes at the moment because of other injuries to other players such as Hanley. So just one to be aware of. I think Tsimikas is probably the best 4 mil option right now. Let's get on to the scout selection. This is how it looks. And let me know what you guys think of the scout selection. So they've got Sanchez in goal, Trent, Shaw and Amati in defence. Salah captain, Bruno makes it, Gundogan, Jota, Barnes, and then up top Ings and Antonio. Very, very template lineup, I think. What do you guys think? The scout doesn't normally go so template with their selections. But this one is very template. There's not really many punts in here. Maybe Jota. Dylan asked, any Sancho news? The last I read is he's not likely to play in Gameweek 1, but stands a good chance of being back for Gameweek 2. I think Sancho is going to be a great pick this season. It's just a shame he's not ready for Gameweek 1, because otherwise it really would have been one to think about whether to go Bruno or save that money and go Sancho. You can save a lot by going Sancho over Bruno, but for Gameweek 1, Bruno's the obvious pick in that Man United side. I'd say Mason Greenwood's a good pick as well. He's very likely to start, almost certainly, because Cavani's out, and obviously Sancho back late. So Greenwood's a good pick as well. Marcel, how we doing, mate? Sponsy says Amati's a good 1 week punt. Yeah, that's the thing though. 1 week punt on FPL, you don't really want players that are just a 1 week move and then you're stuck with them. However, if you're playing FPL draft, which quite a few names in the chat have been playing on the Discord, then Amati's a reasonable option for that sort of thing. That's kind of the way to play draft. You hop on a player and then hop off them. Let's move on to the bookies odds. So we'll start off with the goal scorer odds for Gameweek 1, which are as follows. So Salah's got the highest goal scorer odds, 53% chance of a goal against Norwich. Obviously, the bookies odds always are based on whether that player starts. And in Lukaku's case, he almost certainly won't. But if he were to start, the bookies give him the second highest goal scorer odds, 44.5% chance of a goal for that Palace fixture. Mane and Jota tied in third. Anyone in chat got Mane? Mane's an interesting one. I've seen a few people go with a Salah-Mane double up, which I do think is viable. I had it in a few of my drafts. Didn't make the final draft, but I do think Mane's a good pick. But I also think Jota's a good pick and significantly cheaper. So it was Jota that ended up making my draft. But yeah, Liverpool's a real headache because you've got really 5 players that are good options. You've got Salah, Mane, Jota, Tsimikas, and Trent, of course. All very feasible options. Lacazette, obviously not going to play now, but assuming he'd start, he would have been up there. Martial stands a good chance of starting because of absentees. Bruno Fernandes, 38.5% chance of scoring. DCL, I read that he's back. Don't know whether he'll start the first game or not, but perhaps he will, considering they're missing a lot of players. M.A. asks, is Antonio better than Vardy? Difficult one. Vardy will almost certainly finish on more points, but obviously he costs significantly more. Interesting stat I stumbled on. Antonio, the best minutes per expected goal involvement of all strikers last season, among all strikers that is, that played more than 1,500 minutes. So Antonio is certainly a good pick. I think Vardy's not worth the money right now. If he finds some form, then I'd say, yeah, jump on Vardy. Get on the Vardy party, but not Gameweek 1, not for me. Barnes is a good pick, though, from Leicester, I would say. These are the clean sheet odds. So Chelsea, top for clean sheet odds. 56.5% chance for clean sheet against Crystal Palace. Followed by Liverpool. Hence why the Simicast pick is so popular. Not just the fact that he's a 4 mil defender that's going to play, but Liverpool have good clean sheet odds, and he plays for Liverpool, who could be title contenders this season for all we know. Leicester, 42.5% chance. Again, Amati, not the worst pick, but it could be a short-term option with the signing of Vestergaard. Man City, interestingly, 41.5% chance of a clean sheet. Playing Spurs, followed by United. Anyone in chat got a Man United double up? I genuinely think a Man United defensive double up is feasible this season. Probably Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, or maybe Shaw and Maguire. Keeping an eye out whether Man United sign Trippier. Apparently they've been trying to sign Trippier this window from Atletico Madrid, but it does depend on whether they can sell other players like Lingard and Pogba. Sammy's not convinced by the Everton clean sheet odds. I'm not convinced either. But Norwich, 8.5% chance of a clean sheet in that Liverpool game. Last time they were in the Premier League a couple of seasons ago, they were the whipping boys. There was a lot of massive scores against Norwich, and we'll have to see whether they improve on that or not. These are the expected points for Game Week 1. This is courtesy of FPL Review. Definitely recommend FPL Review, really good website for transfer planning and deciding which players to start and that sort of thing. And they've got a really good algorithm which is a bit more predictive than bookies odds, but I do like to include the bookies odds as well. So these are the expected points. Again, Salah is top for expected points, 7.35 expected points for that Norwich fixture. As we saw at the top of the stream, he said pick him in your FPL teams. He said he's had the last 4 or 5 weeks off, and he'll be the top point scorer for the season. Bruno's second. In fact, he's joint second with Trent, both on 6.13 points. Bruno's a genuine captaincy option in my opinion. It does look like almost everyone's going Salah, but I think there's an opportunity to go Bruno. If you just cast your mind back to last season, Man United played Leeds and it was 6-2 at full time in that same fixture. Bruno only played 70 minutes that game, and he still got 2 goals and 1 assist. So hopefully we see a similarly exciting open game, in which case Bruno could be a really good captain option, could outscore Salah. But Trent is third, Mane fourth, Werner interestingly is up there. I suppose he's very likely to start. It's going to be interesting to see how Chelsea line up this season as well with the signing of Lukaku. I think Werner could actually play really well off Lukaku. I do think Werner actually might have a good season after being a bit of a meme last season. So don't sleep on Werner. That's definitely one area that I've gone wrong in the past in FPL. You get an idea about a player in your head and you get, very stubborn, and you refuse to rethink how you feel about that player. And I think that could apply to Werner, genuinely. I might be way off with this analysis, but I think he could do much better, and he actually was still involved in a fair amount of goals, considering that it was considered a bad season. So I'm just going to stick it back onto my team and catch up on chat, because I am well behind. Thank you everyone that has tuned in already. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do hit subscribe. I'm going to be doing weekly streams, or hope to, but certainly I'll be uploading several videos every week, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that. Appreciate you all being here. Great turnout already. I'll attempt to read all the names. We've got Aaron, Adam, Ahmed, Darius, Dylan, EJT, Finn, Gareth, HS Lee, James, Park, James Yap, Joey, Kieran, Marcel, Matthews, Pratiush, how you doing Pratiush? Reynard, Sammy, how you doing Sammy? Sponsy, Stuart and Vod. And apologies if I missed any others. Aaron says, have you seen Arsenal's potential lineup against Brentford? Reckon Tony can put some past that. I've not seen it, no. Well, who's in defence? I assume it'll be, Tierney, Pablo Mari, left centre-back. Ben White, right centre-back. And then, I don't know, Chambers in right-back. But yeah, definitely. Definitely Tony can put some past Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal fan, unfortunately. Got my Arsenal cap on, actually, but yeah, it's not a great start to the season with key players missing and not having made enough, not having made the signings that we hoped we would have by now. I read that Odegaard didn't make the Real Madrid squad, so I wonder if that means he's all but sealed coming back to Arsenal. Aiden, how you doing, mate? Glad you made it. Who's up top in the predicted lineup for Arsenal? So we were talking about Liverpool, just very briefly. The last 5 away league matches, they won 3-0, 2-1, 4-2, 1-0 and 3-0. So absolutely no problem scoring on the road. In fact, last season was a bit of a strange anomaly because Liverpool were terrible at home for quite a long spell. But yeah, on the road there was no issue there at all. I do think this season with fans back, I don't expect the same to happen again. Especially a stadium such as Anfield. Balogun is confirmed to start. Wow, 5 mil for Arsenal. I wouldn't honestly recommend him in your FPL teams because it could just be like a 1 or 2 week thing at best. But yeah, what an opportunity for him. Wow. Hope he takes his chance. So if anyone's not voted on the captain poll, that is on the Discord. We're going to have a look at the results of that now. There's a link to the Discord in the description. Before we do, I just wanted to briefly run through some of the things we've got on our Discord. So we've got the price changes, we've got the lineups. Oh, message failed to load. Alright, let me reload. It's the problem when you do it live. Oh, it's logged me out. Hang on. Let me stick on the transition so you don't see my password. Bear with me. Got to put in my 2-factor code. This all gives you a chance to vote on the captain poll if you haven't already. Last chance. Right. So that makes it 2 technical difficulties on the first stream. Not bad. Can we get the hat trick? Right, I think we're back. Okay, there we go, we're back. Okay, so yeah, we've got the price changes, we've got lineups, we've got the live scores, we've got the live points, so absolutely any returns that players get, this will appear here. We've got the bonus points, we've got the stat spot. This is a cool one, so you can do like info and get some info about a player. Info Salah, or is it I? Bodgey's lurking. Oh, the bot's down. Fine. We've got the injury updates, Gameweek stats, top 10k stats, insider trading. I'm looking forward to seeing the insider trading again. If anyone doesn't know what this one is, it's basically transfers made by players and staff at clubs. So last season, for example, loads of players sold Grealish, and there was no news on a Grealish injury. So that was, an interesting accidental leak. There's transfer trends, the new players, disaster class, and loads more. But we are here for the captain poll, so let's have a look at the results. Wow, I haven't done mine, so I'm going to do it now. So Salah is quite comfortably the favourite on the captain poll. He's got 328 votes, 329 votes, including mine. Followed by Bruno, who has 28 votes. Mane's on 9 votes. 7 votes for other. If anyone in chat voted for other, let me know. Let me know. Just reading the chat. You guys are absolute trolls. Hopefully you didn't see my password. About to get taken offline mid-stream. Who else? 3 votes for Ings. Interesting. 4 votes for Trent. I love the Trent pick, whoever's gone Trent. There's 1 for Mahrez, a couple for Jota. But, I mean, yeah, Salah's completely dominated the Gameweek 1 captain poll here. So, I do think his effective ownership is going to be extremely high. It must be well over 150%. Could be touching on 200%. Grove has leaked my password in chat. I'm in trouble now. HS Lee says, what's your thoughts on DCL? Yeah, I think he's a good pick. I think he'll have a great season again. He's a wait and see for me. First of all, I think he's only just back from injury, so I don't know if he's going to play in Gameweek 1. But their fixtures are good, so if Danny Ings doesn't work out, or if he gets his traditional injury, then You know, it's an easy sideways swap from Ings to DCL. But he's a wait and see for me. But he was in a couple of my early drafts. James went for, he's gone Havertz. Oh, interesting. So the only thing about Havertz, James, is that he played 120 minutes in the Super Cup midweek. I do still think he'll start, but it's just something to bear in mind. But maybe he'll come off a little bit early. I don't know. But yeah, just something to consider. But Havertz is a very interesting differential. Some of you might have seen this already, but I posted this yesterday. This is how my FPL team would line up in real life. So I don't know what you call this formation. It's well, I guess it's like 0-4-1-6, something like that. 0-4-1-5. Sure, looking a bit isolated. Look, I don't know if these people are socially distancing from Shaw or what's going on there, but yeah, apparently my FPL team's predominantly on the right side. Louis asks, Barnes starts. Yeah, Harvey Barnes, I presume you mean. Yeah, I think he'll almost certainly start. Roger said that he's still getting up to full fitness. He did come off early in the Community Shield game, so that could happen again, but I think he's almost certainly going to start. I think Barnes is a great pick, actually. Anyway, we're about the halfway mark to the deadline, so I think now's a perfect time to play a quick round of Who's That Player? So this is a really simple game. Everyone in chat needs to get involved. I need all the guesses in chat for this. So you're going to be shown a cutout of a player, and you need to guess who that player is. So, here's the first one. Nice easy one to start off with. Who's that player? Guesses in the chat. Sammy says, probably a right-hand man you are. I am actually right-handed, yeah. But I'm left-footed, oddly. Which I don't think you see a lot. In fact, I'm pretty one-footed footballer, admittedly. When I play, I almost completely use my left foot. I rarely take shots on my right. But yeah, I'm right-handed. Nevis, James, Bungle, Finn, James, Kieran, Krish, Yushman, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, Ethan, Jack, James, Daya, Rittik, James, everyone got that one. That was Bruno. Alright. Let's step it up a little bit harder one now. Who's that player? Guesses in the chat. Aiden said Bruno, who I don't own. Interesting. Interesting, Aiden. I'd love to see your draft. Can you DM me a draft on Twitter, Aiden? Louis says those ears do not lie. It's the little things that give it away. Definitely. I think in this case, it's got to be the hair, maybe the posture that gives this one away. A lot of you have got it. James has got it. Sponshy, Nevis, Bungle, Kieran, Sponshy. Did I say Sponshy twice? Finn, James. Loads of more of you got it. Yeah, that one was Diogo Jota. Well played. Alright. We're going to step it up a notch again. I'm glad I'm on the transition because I had it in the wrong order there and I had the actual player on screen first. Who's that player? Very popular pick, this one. I think again the hair gives this one away, but guesses in the chat. Who is that player? James guesses Torreira. Keep the guesses coming, Sammy. You'll get the next one. Sponshy reckons it's Rafinha. So does Finn. Kieran Bungle. Gareth. Jaren all say it's Rafinha. Louis says it's Rafinha. So does James. So did both the Jameses. Sammy reckons it's Rebecca Vardy. Yeah, none of you got it except Sammy. It's actually Rebecca Vardy. No, it was Rafinha. He's got a proper picture now on FPL. Last season he had like a weird sideways on, arms crossed pose, but He's got his proper picture now. Rafinha. He's in my Gameweek 1 draft. Happy to own him. Hopefully he gets something against Man United, but we'll see. Sorry, any Man United fans in chat. I know there's a couple lurking. Who's the next one? Tougher one now. These are getting harder and harder. Who's that player? 50 viewers. Oh, amazing. Thank you everyone for tuning into this deadline stream. Appreciate you all being here. If anyone is new to the channel, remember to like the video and sub to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos and streams. Yeah, this one's a bit massive actually. I don't think I scaled it right. Maybe he is this tall. I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely not to scale. He's not that much bigger than me if he was next to me. Oh, this one stumped you guys. It's not Wood. It's not Veltman. It's not Cancelo. It's not Martinelli. It's not Gary Neville. It's not Sancho. It's not Varane. Varane's a good guess. It's not Varane. No one's got it yet. Not Cancelo. It's not me, Finn. No, it's not me. It's not Martinelli. I'll give you a clue. No, this is a massive clue. I need to rethink that clue. He's a striker. Is that a good enough clue? He's a striker. One person has got it. Bungle says the scale. I know, he looks absolutely massive. That reminds me of the Dan Burn one last season. Last season I did one with Dan Burn and I like deliberately scaled him so that his his head was off the screen at the top. I think the only person who got it was Marcel. Well played, Marcel. It was Tony. Might be an outdated picture. That might be partly it. But yeah, well done. Okay, one more. Should we do one more? Who's that player? I wonder if anyone will get this one. Oh, yeah, I don't think these are scaled properly. A lot of the stuff you see on these streams, I just throw together. I spend like an hour or two before I go live, just throwing some stuff together. So this was a quick Photoshop job. But nonetheless, who's that player? Anshuman, how you doing? He says it's white. James and Gasha reckons it's Simicast. Jaron says it's Simicast. James Park reckons it's Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil? Is that a serious guess? Apologies if it is. Dyer says Nico Williams or Dan James. Who Dan James guesses? Gareth reckons it's Gilmore. The answer was Simicast. Is he in any of your drafts? He's really a spanner in the works at the moment, Simicast. Real spanner in the works. Because I can't believe they priced him at 4 mil. They should have priced him at 4.5 minimum, just in case of a Robertson injury. Lo and behold, Robertson gets injured, and suddenly we've got a starting Liverpool defender for 4 mil, who, by the way, has attacking threat as well. He got an excellent assist in their last pre-season game. Whipped in a ball to Firmino, who buried it. Bonio, how you doing, mate? Welcome to the stream. Ben says it looks like someone's taken a dump on his head. 4 mil hero. I mean, obviously the caveat with Simicast is that he's only going to be an option for as long as Robertson's out. And that could be, you know, until Gameweek 3. So he's a relatively short-term option. So in a way, he is a booked-in transfer for probably Gameweek 3 or maybe Gameweek 4 after the international break. So it's just one thing to consider, and that's ultimately what put me off getting him. Because, you know, I could have gone for Simicast in defence and then upgraded Jota all the way to Heung-min Son, which a lot of people have done. And it's difficult to say which one does better. You know, Heung-min Son's been in incredible form in pre-season. Yeah, they played 5 matches. 5 matches, and Son had 3 goals and 5 assists. Phenomenal. So I think Son's actually a cracking option for Gameweek 1. Interestingly, Lucas Moura and Dele Alli have also emerged as potential options. I think Lucas Moura is only 6.5, if I'm not mistaken. And Dele Alli, I think he's 6.5, maybe 6. Someone can let me know in chat. But Dele Alli as well, he's played the majority of pre-season games. Could be a genuine option. I need 2 players out of Benrahma, Barnes and Rafinha. Which one? I would go for Barnes and Rafinha. But Benrahma could certainly have a good season. I think I would just rather have Rafinha and Barnes. And then you've got the option to have Antonio if you want the West Ham coverage. If I dare use the word coverage. Chris says start Rafinha or Barnes. Ideally, I wouldn't want to bench either of them, but gun to my head, I would start Barnes. Got the better fixture. But Rafinha is the type of player who can get something against anyone, so... yeah, ideally you want to be starting both if there's someone else you can afford to bench there. So yeah, this is my squad of 15. This is where I've arrived heading into Game Week 1. I've taken a chance on Cancelo. For anyone that missed it, I did post a video early this week with my team and my thoughts, etc. And interestingly, last season, Cancelo had a foot injury, so he didn't come into the team until Game Week 3. But when he did, he was only benched twice, all the way to Game Week 20. So he's actually, if last season had anything to go by, a safe pick, or relatively safe. Obviously, there could still be some rotation there, but and obviously Walker's back late to train him. So I think Cancelo is a safe option. Obviously, he can play right back and left back. So yeah, I'm happy to take the punt of Cancelo. I think his ownership's quite low, 7.4%. Unlucky to not get more attacking returns as well. I believe he was 2nd or 3rd. Definitely no lower than 3rd among all defenders for expected goal involvement. It was Robbo and Trent that were up there, obviously, like they always are. Luke Shaw's kind of a no-brainer. His ownership's so high, though, that you basically stand to gain nothing if he does get anything. Which is why I think Man United double up in defence is actually feasible. So if you're looking for a second Man United defender, I think Maguire or Wan-Bissaka are definitely options. Double up is really an option. We've seen in past seasons, Robertson and Trent, a double up for them in defence has done really well. Last season was an anomaly, but the 2 seasons before that, I had both of them. And, you know, I was more than happy to. I mean, look, for what you pay, 7.5, and, you know, in Trent's case, 210 points, 185 points. If there was a midfielder that could get you that many points for 7.5 mil, you'd take them all day, wouldn't you? So therefore, a double up in defence is definitely feasible. Anyway, Anshuman says, is Cresswell overlooked? Yeah, he could be. He could be overlooked. Soufal, I think, is what's tempting a lot of people away from him. Only 5 mil. Interestingly about Soufal, last season was obviously his first season in the Prem. And he got more points last season than Shaw ever has in all of Shaw's seasons. That surprised me when I stumbled on that one. Last season was the most points he got, 124. Yeah, I mean, he's been in and out of the side a lot. Last season, obviously, he did look back to his best. So if he gets 3,000 plus minutes, then I think he'll comfortably outscore Soufal. But interesting one. Arif says start Soufal or Rafinha. That's a difficult one as well. I think, again, gun to my head, I'd probably start Soufal. But really, you want to be starting players like Rafinha. You don't want to bench a player who's 6.5 mil. Kieran says Antonio or Tony. I would go Antonio, and then he's an easy downgrade to Tony if you want to. I do think Tony's going to be a great pick, and so is Armstrong from Southampton. Both relatively cheap forwards. I think they're both good picks, but yeah, I think Ings and Antonio are a good duo to start with. And if you're looking for a third, then maybe Tony or maybe Wilson. Christian asked a good question. He said, Brighton double up, not scare you. It does a bit, yeah, it does leave me a little bit exposed having the double up. But another interesting fact, last season Brighton had the third best defence in terms of expected goals conceded of all teams. The two teams that were better than Brighton in that respect were Man City and Chelsea. So, yeah, you never know. But that said, yeah, you're dead right. So I've got Ayling who can sub in. You can see they rotate quite well. If you look at the 5 fixtures on development and Ayling's got a couple of good fixtures in game week 3 and 5. So the plan is to swap Ayling in for those. So development will basically play 3 of my opening 5. That's the plan. Sanchez obviously will play all of them. Luke asks, Buendia and Wilson or Tony and Greenwood? I think I would go Buendia and Wilson, but that's a really difficult one. Obviously with Buendia and Wilson, they're both going to start. Tony's obviously going to start, but Greenwood, I feel like he's a bit of a short-term pick. Obviously Cavani's not back with the team yet, but as soon as he is, then it's hard to say if Greenwood continues playing. Likewise, Sancho is going to obviously come straight into the team. Don't know which wing Sancho will play actually, because Rashford's obviously out. It could be Martial down the left, Sancho right, Cavani through in the middle, which would mean Greenwood misses out. Or maybe Martial gets benched and it's Greenwood on the right, Sancho down the left. Difficult one. Greenwood's an excellent player to have when he's playing, but it's very rare patches where he gets consistent minutes. 15 minutes till the deadline, everyone. How's the teams looking? Are the teams locked in? Captains sorted? Bench in the right order? Appreciate everyone that has tuned into this one. If anyone's not subscribed to the channel, do hit subscribe. And obviously like the video as well. Jaron says, not going for Arsenal punts. I had Ben White in a few of my drafts, but beyond that, there wasn't any players that really tempted me, to be honest with you. Smith Rowe could be a good option for 5.5. I had him last season for a fair bit when he was only 4.2. It was incredible value for 4.2. For 5.5, I don't know. I think I'd rather find the 1 mil and get Rafinha or someone like that. Maybe Buendia. Saka could be good. I think he's 6.5 as well. But again, I think I'd rather Rafinha or Buendia to start with. So yeah, not many options in the Arsenal team. But it does suck when you have no one playing on the first game. I don't know if anyone else feels like that, but it's kind of like, you know, there's a game tonight and I've got no one in it. Has anyone got Tony playing tonight? Prish asks, Focal, who would you bench? Rafinha, Shaw or Tsimikas? Probably Rafinha. Oh, I don't know. It'd be between Rafinha and Tsimikas. I mean, Tsimikas, he does have the attacking threat. Obviously, he got the assist in pre-season. I think I'd probably bench Tsimikas because Rafinha's a high ceiling, in my opinion. You know, all it takes is for Liverpool to put one past... Sorry, Norwich to put one past Liverpool and your clean sheet's gone. And then you're basically counting on a 4 mil Tsimikas to get an attacking return, which, you know, it's difficult to say if he will or not. He did it like a good crosser in the pre-seasons, but yeah, I think Rafinha's a proven asset, so I'd go with him. FPL JJ, how you doing, mate? He's got Pepe, Tony and Smith Rowe playing tonight. Wow. You've gone all in on Arsenal there. Pepe's an interesting one. Good differential. He ended last season very strong, actually. He got a brace in both of his final 2 games, so Pepe's certainly a good option as well. Good differential. Arsenal obviously not at full strength though, so could affect his attacking output. But yeah, I like the Pepe pick. Spongy's got Tony as well. EJT says bench 1, target Tsimikas, Rafinha. Same again, I'd probably bench Tsimikas, honestly. Just because target and Rafinha are more proven assets. Aston Villa obviously play Watford, who are missing a couple of attacking players. so that would surely work in Villa's favour. And Target's obviously got a minute to get an attacking return as well. Just wanted to briefly include this graphic from The Athletic. I don't know if this echoes how you guys feel, but they asked all teams how optimistic or pessimistic they're feeling heading into this season. And this was the order from first to last. So apparently the most optimistic fans are Chelsea fans, which kind of makes sense. Obviously they've made the Lukaku signing, which is a great signing, and they could really challenge for the title from that. Palace. Shame. I guess Palace fans were happy to see the end of Hodgson, despite the consistency he gave them. But it is an exciting new era for Palace, and they have made a lot of interesting signings. They lost a lot of players, but they've brought a lot in. Liverpool fans as well up there, actually, in terms of optimism. Doesn't surprise me. They've got all the injured players back now. Villa fans as well. Villa and United actually equal 4th and 5th. Does this line up with how you guys feel? Arsenal 17th. Everton fans last. Only 18% of them are optimistic. Yeah, I don't think Everton fans are that happy about the Benitez appointment. And obviously Ancelotti leaving for Real Madrid. Adam says it's too optimistic for Arsenal. Jack says, would you start Tsimikas or Armstrong? Yeah, the problem with Armstrong, we don't know if he comes straight into the starting 11 or not. If he does, then I would say start him, but he's a bit of a question mark, obviously. Just gonna have a quick check if there's been any team leaks. Doesn't look like it. But yeah, it does look like Balogun for Arsenal, 5 mil, will start up top. But I don't think he's an FPL option, if I'm honest. But I hope he does well. Stewie asks, is Havertz worth it? I think Havertz could have a cracking season, but I think with the signing of Lukaku, Tuchel's got a real problem with his hands in terms of how he lines up. Because Mount's not going to be dropped. Lukaku's not going to be dropped. I think Werner has to play. So it's difficult to fit Havertz in. And he did play 120 minutes midweek in the Super Cup. So I'm avoiding, but monitoring him very closely because I do think he'll have a good season. Sponshy says 10 minutes till the deadline. Dub. 10 minutes, everyone. And then the 21-22 campaign has kicked off. You know what I've just realised? I put 2021 in the video title. Let me update that. Have I done that for all my pre-season videos? I can't believe it if I've done that. Oh dear, I think I put 2021 in a few of my pre-season videos. Oh, what a numpty I am. Living in the past. Dylan says Sufal and Lamarty or White and Dyer Alioski. Alioski? I love some of whatever you've been drinking, Dylan. You mean Firpo? Obviously Alioski left Leeds in the summer. They signed Firpo from Barcelona to replace him. Eric Dyer, don't expect him to start at all. So absolute no-brainer that one. Sufal and Marty. Reynard says, thoughts on Vardy Gameweek 1 and then Lukaku Gameweek 2. I'm not a fan of booking in transfers like that, if I'm honest. Because it's just the nature of FPL. You can never account for what's going to happen. You know, Gameweek 1 could happen and Salah gets... I'm not going to even say a Salah injury. I'm not going to jinx it. But a player could get injured and you never expect it. You can never anticipate it. It's an unpredictable game. So therefore, I don't ever like to book in a transfer. Even though it looks like it makes sense on paper. So that's kind of how I feel about planning a Game Week 2 move, personally. Kind of something that I've learned to do over years of playing is to be more flexible and open. Leave yourself less exposed, in a nutshell. I don't know if this is of interest, but I've actually got... how sad is this? I've got a little note on my desktop. And I just call it FPL Lessons. And there's just a few lessons on here that I kind of go back and check once in a while. Just to keep myself in touch with what I should be doing. So the first one is have a plan and stick to it. The second one is hits don't pay off most of the time. It's a big gamble and most of the time a completely unnecessary one. The third one is avoid bandwagons. That's a really good one for everyone in chat to bear in mind, especially if you're new to the game. Say tonight, completely random player scores and gets an assist, but it was really luck more than anything, or an anomaly. That doesn't mean you just jump on them. If we use last season as an example, Arsenal signed Willian and he got 3 assists in Gameweek 1. 3 assists in Gameweek 1, and his price obviously went up, and he was a terrible FPL pick. Shocking player. Don't rate him at all. And it was a bandwagon. So yeah, I think just be careful with the bandwagons. Make sure it's a genuine bandwagon if you're getting on one. Obviously if Tony gets a hat-trick tonight, that's not just a bandwagon. That's he's obviously a genuinely good pick. Another one here is historical results aren't always clear evidence of what's going to happen. For example, City had scored 4 goals per game against West Ham the last 5 games in a row. And then obviously last season it was 1-1. Another one I've got is don't rotate goalkeepers. This is turning into like an FPL class here, isn't it? Like a lesson. You're paying attention at the back. Don't rotate goalkeepers is another one I've got. I used to have a couple of 4.5 mil or 5 mil keepers, but nowadays I prefer to line up like how you see on screen, Sanchez and Steele. If Sanchez gets injured, then Steele comes in. Either way, I'm fine. This is a good one. Have a core group of players and trust them long term. So I look at my team, and there's a few players here that are definitely my core. So Sanchez, Trent, Shaw, Salah, Bruno, Rafinha, probably Ings. They're all my core players. So if you factor them out of my team, there's actually only a few players in this team that I can maneuver around. Maybe that helps make it a bit less daunting as well when you're looking at what to do with your team. Excuse me. So yeah, have a core group of players and trust them. Sorry if I've missed any messages on chat. Gasha says, start Simicast or Amati. Simicast. Harry says, who should I bench this weekend? Rafinha, Wood or Tony? That's a tough one. Probably Rafinha. James says it feels like year 7 teams meeting. Sammy says Rafinha or Benrahma. Tough one. Probably Rafinha. Adam says FPL lessons to be a top seller on Amazon really soon. Yeah, I'll have to release some kind of ebook or something. Audiobook, that's what it's called. Yeah, I mean, James said it. Benrahma's got the better fixtures, but I'm happy to have Rafinha, honestly. I'm definitely monitoring Benrahma. He could be a very good option this season if he breaks into that starting 11, which it looks like he will. He might play the Lingard role. Obviously, Lingard's currently at Man United. I do hope he finds a way, or not finds a way, but I do hope he moves to Man United, to West Ham, because he looked so much happier there. He looks so much happier at West Ham. And now he's just going to rot on Man United's bench. So it could be Benrahma that plays the Lingard role. We'll see. James says bench Amati or White or Soufal. I would bench Amati. Kenzie says Rafinha or Tony. Tough one. Probably Rafinha. Sorry, is that who to bench? I'd probably bench Rafinha. 3 minutes till the deadline. Quickly, if you haven't liked the video, click that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I'll be doing live streams and posting videos throughout the season. So my team selection every week. The top captain picks for the coming game weeks. So loads planned for the season, as always. Really excited for the season. Jaron's got a quote from David Moyes and Benrahma. Scoring and playing in pre-season is great, but now the big games start. Let's see how he does now. It's a good quote. That's a good quote. He doesn't just walk into the team. He needs to prove himself because they've got other players like Lanzini who could slot into that team and play through the middle. Ahmed says bench Veltman or White. Difficult one that. Let's have a quick look at the clean sheet odds. I mean, without putting too much thought into it, I would say you'd bench White, but I don't know what the clean sheet odds say. So Arsenal got 34% chance, Brighton 37.5. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. I'd bench White, not just because of the clean sheet odds, but Veltman's also got the attacking threat. Last season he got 1 goal, 1 assist from I forget how many appearances, like 28 or so, and 9 clean sheets. So he's got it in him to get an attacking return as well. 2 minutes till the deadline, everyone. I encourage everyone to give your team one final check. Start the season strongly. Make sure your bench is in the right order. I mean, I don't think I need to call on my bench, but I was wondering whether to have Ayling or Brownhill first. I think I'll just leave it with Ayling. Reynard says Lanzini ain't playing 3 games in a row. Yeah, it's a shame. We just can't string together games and he's so injury prone. Optimism says Dele or Trossard. Interesting one. Probably Dele. But I think there's better options for a similar price, like Rafinha, Buendia, Benrahma. I think I'd prefer those over either of those. 1 minute till the deadline, everyone. EJT says Rafinha and Tony or Mahrez and Scarlett. It's a difficult one to answer because it depends on the rest of your team, EJT. Because obviously Scarlett, you're going to be bringing in a player who won't play for you at all. So it's whether you've got a team that can accommodate that. Mahrez I do like. I think he's a great pick to start the season with. But yeah, it depends on the rest of your team. Probably Rafinha and Tony. Ronick says the servers are already down. A minute early. I do think that is the deadline. Yeah, the game is being updated. I should take this opportunity to promote our Discord one more time. There's a link to that in the description. It's going to be kicking off in the Discord tonight. That I can promise. We've got lots of excellent channels on the Discord. Got the live match chat, of course. We've got the price changes. Got the lineups, the live scores, live points, bonus points. I just got an email from Watford FC. I'll read that later. I don't know what that was about. I had tickets to the Watford game actually tomorrow, but already had plans, so I had to give them away. Injury updates, Gameweek stats, top 10k stats, loads more. New players. Who's the new player? Transfer. Willock. Willock's been reclassified as a Newcastle player now. Willock's an interesting one. He's I think he scored like 6 games in a row or something like that. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for tuning into this stream. I hope everyone has an excellent Game Week 1, and I really appreciate everyone tuning in for this one. It's been a really enjoyable first stream. I've really enjoyed it. And it's great to have FPL back. So that's it. We're calling it. That's the deadline. I don't think I have anything else to add, to be honest with you. Thank you so much for all the subs throughout the pre-season. Heading into the pre-season, the channel had like 500 subs, and it's basically tripled in size, or more than tripled, in the space of a month. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all on the Discord or Twitter or TikTok or wherever I catch you. But for now, it is a goodbye from me, guys.